We're live. Welcome to the Everything But the Bottle podcast. You are here with Rabbi Ben Tarabello, Master Distiller at Tarabello Distillery, owner of the TTBmath.com software, a software every winery, brewery, distillery must be on if they want to be cost efficient on the Everything But the Bottle podcast. What is Everything But the Bottle? We help you save money, create the best recipes, and just get to understand why some bottles are more expensive than others. Today's topic is my favorite topic, and that is specialty grains. We all got our recipes. It could be from our grandparents like me, like I did, or it can be from a dusty old book or a modern book we purchased on Amazon. Wherever we got a recipe from, the recipe us distillers fell in love with, we never really looked at the pricing and the business aspect of it. And was the decision to use a classical recipe really the best? Do you really think you're going to outclass Pappy Van Winkle in a blind test? A blind test, but they know the tasting notes of Pappy Van Winkle, so they're going to make it win. So they ain't really blind. It's like saying it's all about the flavor and then saying it's blind. Well, you know the flavor profile, and if you develop your taste buds enough, guess what? You'll be able to recognize it the same way a even blind person can recognize who the Mona Lisa is. That said, make a product that's locally sourced the grain. So if you live in the area where, and this was Barbara I had last week, she was fantastic and still up in Canada. She used what's called triticale. I believe I got that one right. It's locally grown, it's strong, it's the most cost efficient, but it adds a unique aspect to the actual spirit. Locally grown, local flavors, it's a stronger flavor, it stands out in contests, as she so eloquently explained. People didn't even believe that it was only aged for 5 or 7 years and not 15 years. So this is something that you need to do a price analysis on. Not only that, it makes you stand out. Another cool thing is oats. You heard me right, oats. Most people are scared of oats, but oats are very cheap. Just go to the grocery store and you'll see how oats are a really cheap product. And boom, you got something unique, something tasty, something that will stand out and wow your ingredients. And even if it doesn't, guess what? You got those hyperallergens that will buy it. I know, I shouldn't have said that. But oats are not, are good for people that have allergies, to say it any different or any better. So you want to try oats. Oats have something else very unique. You got to figure out how to ferment them, so it adds more fun to it. It doesn't ferment like every other grain. Millet. Millet is an old grain. Goes back way. Doesn't need fancy fertilizer, and it grows really cheap in dirt. So it might not be grown locally, but you might want to try it anyways if you're one of those hands-on guys that like having your own farm and growing your own thing. You got to really focus. You got to really expand yourself out of the distillery, winery, or brewery, and learn a little more. YouTube is a great way to learn about other grains. Go to local farm meetings, farmers markets, meet with them. You'll be shocked. Wouldn't be surprised if someone sends me a message and say, hey, look, I was at a farmer's market, I met a farmer, he always wanted to grow millet or whatever, wanted that grain, he never had a use for it. I said, dude, pass it this way. Or I've been working with this farmer many years and he says, I got all this stuff, do you want it at a discounted price? Pass it my way, and boom, out came our most popular bottle. These are the stories that happen every time. But as a distiller, you need to, or a brewer, you need to be willing to do that experimentation and go with it. I had a distiller, BR3, that was on. He just got truckloads of apples delivered. He never used apples before because Rutgers University needed one strain of an apple to cross-pollinate and whatnot story. And boom, he got the, I can't remember how many truckloads it was, delivered to his distillery free. Imagine free ingredients. Be open, be acceptable. There's always ChatGPT. Not just have a bestseller at .com yet. It's on your bottom line. Not only that, you will be able to focus on the art and actually try one of these crazy odd recipes, if we can even call a recipe, and possibly have a whole new attraction. Stay tuned for our next podcast tomorrow on Cost Automation and our show coming right up in 5 minutes.